compay, yo soy un hombre sincero. ¿De dónde crece la palma? Yo soy un hombre sincero. ¿De dónde crece la palma? Antes de morir yo quiero echar mi verso del alma. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira. Compay, mi verso es de un verde claro y de un carmín encendido. Mi verso es de un verde claro, caballero, y de un carmín encendido. Mi verso es un ciervo herido en busca en el monte Amparo. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira. Compay, cultivo una rosa blanca en junio como en enero. Cultivo una rosa mayallera en junio como en enero. Para el amigo sincero que me da su mano franca. ¡Eso! Sabaribura, 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 sabaribura. Juega, Tomasito. Sabaribura, 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 sabaribura. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira. Compay, cultivo una rosa blanca en junio como en enero. Cultivo una rosa blanca en junio como en enero. Para el amigo sincero que me da su mano franca. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira. Compay, a los pobres de la tierra quiero mi verso yo echar. A los pobres de la tierra, caballero, quiero mi verso yo echar. El arrullo de la sierra me complace más que el mar. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira. Compay, dale. Compay, compay, tarde languidece, renace las sombras y en la quietud de los cafetales vuelven a sentir el jazz tristón, canción de amor de la vieja molienda. En el letargo de la noche parece gemir. Cuando la tarde languidece, renacen las sombras y en la quietud de los cafetales vuelven a sentir el jazz tristón, canción de amor de la vieja molienda. En el letargo de la noche parece gemir una pena de amor, una tristeza. Lleva el sambo manual en su amargura. Pasa la noche incansable moliendo café. Pasa la noche incansable moliendo café, 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 corto, moliendo, 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 moliendo. Una pena de amor, una tristeza. Lleva el sambo Manuel en su amargura. Pasa la noche incansable moliendo café. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to 16th Street's 2020 roast of Mike Gousha. Mike's roasters tonight will be past president and CEO of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin, Maria Monreal Cameron. WISN's chief meteorologist, Mark Baden. Journalist, anchor, and reporter at TMJ4, Lance Allen. Vice Chancellor of UW Milwaukee, Joan Prince. And co-curator of the St. Kate Arts Hotel, Linda Marcus. With special musical guests, Trace Acoustico, featuring 16th Street's very own Tomas Vegas, Be Free, and Brown's Crew. Brought to you by our premier level sponsor, Business Healthcare Group. Hosted by 88.9 Radio Milwaukee's program director, Jordan Lee, and Steve, the Homer True, sportscaster for ESPN Radio WAUK 540 AM. Thank you for coming together to support 16th Street. Relax and enjoy the show.
Come together.
Come together.
Come together.
Come together.
Come together.
For the health of our community.
To serve the underserved.
So families have a chance to heal wounds.
Preserve dignity.
And feel the hope of health.
Come together.
Come together.
Come together.
Because you and I
are the difference
between discord
and harmony.
Darkness and light.
Come together.
Come together.
Come together.
Because of the future we share together.
Come together.
Come together.
Come together.
In kindness and love.
the medicines of life.
Come together.
Come together.
come together.
To be well.
To be well.
To be well.
To be well.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 16th Street Community Health Center's 2020 roast of Milwaukee television legend Mike Gousha. I'm Jordan Lee, Program Director here at 88.9 Radio Milwaukee, and I'm your host for tonight, the 16th Street Annual Fundraising Event. Whether you've come together with us tonight because you love Mike Gousha, or because you love 16th Street, or because you want to be part of making the community we all share healthier, we welcome you. Before we get started, there are many people to thank for making tonight possible, but specifically, I'd like to thank our generous premier-level sponsor, Business Healthcare Group, whose mission is to improve healthcare quality and cost efficiency for employers and employees and the community. Thank you. While we have a lot of entertainment tonight, we are here first and foremost to raise money for and awareness of all the amazing things 16th Street does. If you're not already registered for tonight's event, you should take a minute to do so right now. Go to bidpal.net/SSCHC2020 roast. It's on the screen and will be throughout the night in case you didn't catch that. Once you've registered, you'll be able to bid on auction items and, of course, donate to 16th Street. By giving whatever you can, even if it's a couple of dollars, you'll be saving lives and improving overall health for those here in Milwaukee. All right, let's start by scratching some of the surface for tonight's extraordinary thing 16th Street does. In the community, they're considered a national treasure and a model for community health centers around the country. And it's right here in our own backyard. No one shares 16th Street's story better than President and CEO Dr. Julie Schuler.
Sixteenth Street is a community health center located on the south side of Milwaukee and also in Waukesha. And we take care of underserved patients, people who may have difficulty accessing healthcare through the normal traditional healthcare routes. We want to provide high quality medical, behavioral health, and other services to folks who need it. The community we serve is a community I fell in love with when I started here 25 years ago. Vibrant community, resilient community. Many cultures live in the neighborhoods that we serve, not only Latinos, which is our most predominant culture, but also many others. Good people doing good work, faced with some barriers that can be very challenging. Poverty is certainly something very common in our neighborhoods, and there's a lot of barriers and challenges that go along with living in poverty, especially in maintaining your own health. By assisting people in accessing resources, we help them to live the healthiest life possible, and that's what we're here for. COVID has really highlighted our ability to be flexible and to be responsive to community needs. The need for testing and education about testing and prevention of spread was hugely important. When we all needed to stay home, at the beginning especially, we still needed to provide services to our 44,000 patients. They still need us. And so we very quickly moved to a telemedicine platform whereby we're doing both medical visits and mental health visits over a computer. There are many issues that patients face in trying to use a telehealth platform. How do you download that app? How do you use it? Do people have enough data on their data plans? Do they have a Wi-Fi connection? We need to be very cognizant that there are patients who can't access telehealth. And I think it's incumbent on us to advocate for the needs of those patients so we can make sure that everybody can have access to high-quality health care. We see ourselves as a safety net, as a place where people can come no matter what. For us to be able to do the work that we do every day, to be that safety net, we need everybody's help. We need financial support to continue to provide care for the most vulnerable. We are here for the community. We love the community. We are the community. As things change, we're still going to be here for them, strongly, solidly, with open arms, helping them in whatever way that they need.
I think the video speaks for itself. You can see why it's so important that we've come together tonight to help support 16th Street. I encourage you to give, and to give generously. Your donation works to improve the health and well-being of this wonderful community. To give, register at bidpal.net/SSCHC2020roast. Again, a big thank you to the Business Healthcare Group for their generous sponsorship and ongoing partnership with 16th Street. Another big thank you goes to our gold-level sponsor, Wisconsin Diagnostic Laboratories, who are dedicated to optimizing patient care by providing patient-centric, quality, innovative medical laboratory testing. We'd also like to thank American Family Insurance, Genentech, and Northwestern Mutual, as well as these other important sponsors. And of course, thank you to you, everyone who has donated during this show. Donations at any level are greatly appreciated. We thank you. Next up, we have our first couple of roasters of Mike Gousha, and they're ready to go. First, Vice Chancellor at UW Milwaukee and longtime friend of Mike's, Joan Prince. Joan and Mike run neck and neck in terms of accomplishments, but tonight she can add roasted Mike Gousha to her impressive list. After Joan, WISN's Chief Meteorologist, Mark Baden. Buckle in, Mike. Let's see what they have to say.
Good evening, everyone. So when I was first received this message about being included in a roast for you, Mike, my first thought was, I love 16th Street. And who is it that you want me to roast? Mike Gousha? Oh, well, I like him. But then again, you know, people say I have no taste. But I like him, so I'll do it, okay? No problem. So then my next thought was, listen up for this one, Mike. I said, you know, it's been interesting watching him on television and hearing him report out as this man of the world around politics and the issues of the day. Mike, I know that you think you're a man of the world, but then again, you know what sad shape the world is in right about now.
That's good.
When I told my sister about having the opportunity to roast you, her reaction was priceless. She said, Mike Goulash? Mike Goulash, who is that? And I said, Deb, really? And she said, oh, that's that guy who is married to that wonderful Lynn Sprangers.
That's true.
So, Mike, That's how you're known in this community. But on a serious note, let me say this. I am so lucky to have you as a friend over all these years. I also know that this region is lucky to have you, lucky to have your wit, your authentic leadership, your professionalism in journalism, and your commitment, most importantly, to human rights, to equality, and to inclusion. It's no surprise to me that you would lend your name for this opportunity to support and celebrate the wonderful community treasure that is 16th Street, because your values and their values so align about serving those that are underserved. It is my honor, my deep honor, my dear friend, to celebrate you and to celebrate 16th Street tonight. Love you much and love you always.
I am so happy to be here with you tonight to celebrate the amazing 16th Street Health Center and the wonderful Mike Gousha. I was a little surprised to have been invited since I thought my deep affection for Mike was my secret. But I guess when this is on your desk, word gets out. If I were doing the full roast this evening, you'd hear all about his many scandals. Lack of turn signals, extra items in the express line, really dark stuff. But since I only have a few seconds, let me just congratulate you, Mike, on this honor and on your greatest achievement, marrying way out of your league.
Congratulations to my good friend Mike Gousha for being recognized by the 16th Street Community Health Centers and getting roasted and toasted. You certainly deserve it.
Congratulations to fellow journalist Mike Gousha for finally getting roasted. Have some fun and enjoy.
First of all, Mike, it's good to see you. Of course, I wish this could be in person, but here we are after all. And let me ask you first, do you mind where we're doing this? Is it familiar to you?
It looks somewhat familiar to me, yes.
Don't tell anyone. I didn't ask for permission for this. So
you might have done that before, you know.
I probably am not supposed to be in here, but we're going to do this anyway, and we're going to have a little fun with it. So that's all right. For those of you that don't know, Mike, of course, was in front of this, up front with Mike Gousha for years and years and years, just one of the many great things that he's done. So I thought it'd be fun to have it in here to do a little roast. But speaking of which, how do you roast a guy like you? When you do a roast, you're supposed to have a person that's got a few flaws. Can you have a couple of flaws, Goosh?
I've got a couple. I prefer to keep it private, but there are a couple there. Ask my wife.
I was going to, but I just went to some other coworkers. They shall remain nameless, people that you might have known. Mike, you might be known for certain, maybe perfectionism once or twice, maybe over-preparedness for anything that you do. Now, I mean, that's all well and good, but let's talk about your hair. That's the real deal. All right. I tried to find baby pictures of you because I am certain when you came out of the womb, you had that beautiful salt and pepper right away.
So from jarring to mom and dad, but yes, that's true. It's amazing.
From the moment go. So I also am curious, at night, do you put this in like a hermetically sealed container and just gently lay back onto just the nicest feather pillows ever?
If I did, do you think I would reveal that to you at this moment?
But I found your secret.
Uh-oh.
This right here. I don't know if you've seen this, but I think you have. Let me read to you what I've got here. It's Duke Cannon News Anchor Hair Wash for thick news anchor hair. Let me read to you on the back how this works. A man with a thick head of healthy hair does not need a motivational quote to start the day. Duke Cannon's News Anchor 2-in-1 Hair Wash is formulated with premium ingredients for hard-working men whose hair commands the respect of others. This is my favorite line of all, Mike. Your hair is your weapon.
Yeah.
That indeed fits you perfectly. This is the secret to Gousha's success.
The hair.
It's been this all along. It's not your talent. and your amazing amount of things that you've done, and you continue to reinvent yourself, and everything you do, you're good at. That's it.
We know it's not the talent, Mark. We know that. That's a given. So that probably is the truth. That's it. Whatever I've achieved, I owe.
You know how hard I had to work just to find something to go with? Come on. All right. You know I respect the you-know-what out of you, but I appreciate your support for 16th Street. Great organization. They're doing great work, and it's fun to just have this little small part, and I can't wait for the pandemic to be over like everybody else and be able to see you in person and hopefully maybe get out golfing sometime, maybe in the spring or summer.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Well, Mike, for all the times you had us in the hot seat, I'm glad it's your turn, and for such a good cause. Thanks, 16th Street, for all you do to keep our communities and state healthy. Let's come together to be well, Wisconsin.
Hi, everybody. A big thank you to 16th Street for keeping our communities safe, healthy, and thriving.
Tonight, we're celebrating the good work of the 16th Street Clinic. You're just an incredible medical resource in our community. So thank you. We're also here to celebrate my good friend, Mike Gousha. Mike, you and I have all these suits and ties we want to wear. I'm not sure in this virtual world if we're ever going to get a chance to do that again. Let's get together and talk about it.
For decades, 16th Street Clinic has been healing our community.
And for many, many, many decades, Mike Gousha has been keeping us well-informed and up-to-date.
Thanks, 16th Street, for caring for our hearts and our minds.
You are the difference in Milwaukee. Congratulations.
Wow, great job, Joan and Mark. I did not expect to see those cameos. Thank you all so much for coming together tonight for this very important event. Now, there's more from Mike coming up, along with some great music and a few more special cameos, so be sure to keep watching. Did you know the vast majority of 16th Street's 44,000 patients are on Medicaid or uninsured and live at or below 100% of the federal poverty line? But 16th Street cares for anyone who walks through their doors, regardless of insurance status or their ability to pay. Everyone deserves a chance to live their healthiest life possible. What you donate tonight will be put to use tomorrow. The impact is immediate. To give, register at bidpal.net/SSCHC2020roast. Once you're registered, you'll be able to donate. Once again, thank you to the Business Healthcare Group for their generous sponsorship and making tonight possible. The community 16th Street serves has faced generations of trauma. Layer that on top of the concerns around immigration, rising rates of substance abuse, and now the stress and challenges of COVID-19. It's undeniable the need for behavioral health care is greater than ever before. Let's hear what Maria Perez, VP of Behavioral Health at 16th Street, has to say. After we hear from Maria, please enjoy a beautiful song entitled If You Want Me to Stay by the incredibly talented singer, producer, and songwriter, Be Free. She is an incredible Milwaukee talent who's soaring up the ladder here in the Milwaukee music scene. Enjoy.
The 16th Street Behavioral Health Department is very successful in working with the families that they serve because of the role that we play in the community. We are highly trusted. We've been here for close to 23 years. We have several providers who are from the community and have grown into the behavioral health world and are now giving back to their community and serving in that way. So the 16th Street is part of this family of the Southside community. And therefore, we have that trust. We don't have as much of a barrier because there's an implied trust because of the 16th Street name. Because of where we are located, we are uniquely positioned to treat families that are dealing with a whole host of issues related to acculturation, stress. Being monolingual, Spanish-speaking is something that is looked upon as often a barrier. So being able to provide linguistically appropriate psychotherapy is one of the things that we really see of value and importance to this community. There are a lot of our families who are disadvantaged from a socioeconomic perspective, and so we contend with a lot of those issues that ail our families that struggle with financial barriers. When we look at the kinds of problems we're seeing as a result of the pandemic, a lot of people are isolated. They don't have the advantage that they had otherwise prior to go freely to their church or go get together with a group of friends or even extended family members. So isolation is on the rise, and consequently higher levels of depression, higher levels of anxiety, higher levels of fear of just going to the grocery store, fear of having your child go to school. So we're seeing a lot more anxiety disorders, depressive disorders. I think what the 16th Street offers the community is hope. There is a strength and resiliency in this community that is just unparalleled to anything I've ever seen. Without the services here, I think it would be really difficult. The families wouldn't have a lot of the things they have now, a place to go for their high-quality health care. They really are getting the best of the best. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it.
Hey everybody, my name is Be Free. So happy to be here for 16th Street Wonderful Fundraiser event. And I hope you guys enjoyed this song from my latest album, Ode to Love Affair, entitled If You Want Me to Stay. I don't think you got what it takes. You done done a whole lot of wrong, boy. Now I'm saying that it's too late. Hands on the doorknob and my back's on the floor. It's turning and I'm halfway out the door. So you really gon' let me leave right now? Hey, I thought a real man would have fought for his love somehow. I don't wanna stay, I don't wanna go. But either way, gotta let you know that you want me to stay, say it, or maybe I'll go. You gotta let me know right now, baby. The pain that I feel inside, it's day after day, time after time, putting up with your lies. So many chances, I gave you more than life. Oh, but at the end of the day, all I can do is cry. But through it all, everything will be just fine. Hey, if you can just find a way to make it right. I don't wanna throw our love away, but I gotta see some change if you want me to stay. You gotta let me know right now, baby. Make me stay, or I'm moving on. I don't really wanna go right now, baby, but I don't really wanna stay. See, I don't really wanna go, baby. I don't wanna go, I don't wanna stay, baby. I don't really wanna stay. I don't really wanna go. gotta let me know. Said I just want you to say something, baby. Make me stay here.
Thank you so much, everybody. Hope you have a good night.
Be Free, that was beautiful. You're so talented. Thanks for being part of the show tonight. I've been involved with this event, The Roast, for over 10 years. I never thought it would be virtual. You never thought it would be virtual. I can't wait to see how this jacket looks on YouTube. I know it's gonna look sweet. You all know why we're here. We're here to support 16th Street and help keep their community healthy. Give often, give big, or as I like to say, the key to any auction, bid on things you don't want. Just because I can't see you doesn't mean I can't tell if you might skimp. But let's start with Ted Kellner. Oh, Ted, just be so generous. If you're so generous, I'll invite you to lunch with me at Ted's. It'll be a quick lunch, you'll have to pay, but I will actually have lunch with you. So, come on, Kellners, let's start, let's keep going. Go to the link to register and donate now. I have some great auction items to tell you about, but first, you have to go register. The link is not only where you can donate, but it's where you can bid on these awesome items. And of course, all the money raised on these items directly supports patient care. First up, we have a Giannis autographed memorabilia valued around $700. Here's the deal with Giannis. I know there are a couple of you thinking he's gonna go somewhere else. He's not, but here's what I'll do. It starts at $700. Whatever the winning bid is, I'll match it because if he's not on the team at next year's event, I'll give you your money back and I'll match that and give what you gave to the 16th Street Center. My point, he's not going anywhere, and if you think so for whatever reason, it's not gonna have any impact. I'll double what you pay, you get yours back in a year if he's not with the team, and the same amount goes to the 16th Street Center. It's Giannis. It's Giannis. It's priceless. What's bigger than Giannis in Milwaukee? Beer. The Yeti cooler, it's $350. 3 of the cars I bought in my life, less than $350. Who pays more for a cooler than a car? But it's Yeti that good. So, bid, bid, bid. Okay, now for our last auction item. Last year, 16th Street launched You're Seen, You're Heard, You Matter, a rotating art exhibit designed to be a visual celebration of hope, resilience, and dignity, and to honor our patients. This photograph by Chip Duncan, entitled Grace, is featured in the clinic's current exhibit. Chip Duncan, Milwaukee-based, world-renowned filmmaker and photographer, has been documenting the effects of war and humanitarian crisis on everyday people in developing countries, valued at $1 million. Just so I can tell Chip I started at $1 million. That's probably somewhere near 2,000-3,000. Grace is considered one of Chip's finest images, taken during a visit to Sudan in 2008. Those are the amazing auction items. And again, Ted Kellner, you have a chance to have lunch with me. I mean, you have to pay and it's gonna be quick because I'm a busy guy, but think of that. I'm gonna hand things back over to Jordan now for a bit, but I and the jacket will be back.
Wow, thanks, Homer. Nice jacket. We have a few more roasts coming up, but I want to take a second to thank a few sponsors. For the last few years, Business Healthcare Group has hosted a golf outing that supports 16th Street. Be sure to mark your calendars. Next year's event will be held on Thursday, August 19th. 2 lead sponsors for this year's golf outing were Quantum and Navitus, and deserve a big thank you here. Another big thank you goes to our gold level sponsor, Wisconsin Diagnostic Laboratories. We are grateful for your generous sponsorship. We'd also like to thank Ascension, Wisconsin, Reinhardt Berner Van Duren, Froedtert and Medical Colleges of Wisconsin, as well as these important sponsors. And of course, thank you to everyone who has donated during the show. Donations at any level are greatly appreciated. To give, register at bidpal.net/SSCHC2020roast. Once you're registered, you'll be able to give. It's just that simple. All right, we've got a couple others ready for their chance to roast Mike Gousha. First up, Lance Allen, the main sports anchor at TMJ4, who worked with Goosh for many years. I figure I know Mike well enough at this point I can call him Goosh, right? Anyhow, I'm curious to see what inside jokes Lance has to share. And after that, we'll hear from Linda Marcus. Many of you know Linda as the creative force behind the St. Kate, the unique hotel that shines a light on Milwaukee's robust art scene. Did you know that Linda moved here to Milwaukee to be the morning anchor for TMJ4? So yet another former coworker with some inside scoop.
I'm honored to be a part of this roast, but the true question and the true answer to the question is, how do you roast one of the patron saints of Milwaukee? He's this close to sainthood, Mike Gousha. You're going to end up looking like the bad guy. But you know me, I got a big mouth. I talk sports opinions all the time. So here goes nothing. I guess I'm the bad guy in all this. I found out once upon a time that Mike Gousha was a pretty good pitcher in high school at what's now Milwaukee Marshall High School. He was the pitcher. The catcher was Bruce Weber. Yes, that Bruce Weber, Kansas State head coach of basketball, Bruce Weber. But he was a pretty good baseball player too. And when he was Illinois' head coach, I had to go and cover a Badgers-Illinois game, and I saw Bruce, and I had to ask him the question. And part of me is an investigative reporter. I got to know how things work, how things operate. And I went up to Bruce and I said, hey, I understand that you were the catcher when Mike Gousha was one of the star pitchers of Milwaukee Marshall. He always talks about how great he was, how fast he could throw the fastball. And the first thing Bruce says, deadpan, is, he couldn't break glass if he tried. And I'm like, oh, now I'm interested. I like this Mike Gousha story. And he said, yeah, as much as he tried, he could probably hit 55, 60 miles an hour, maybe tops. I don't know. Come to find out, Bruce tells me more of the story is the reason why he mainly stands up and can't sit down for long periods of time is Mike used to break off curveballs into his shin, hit him with fastballs, wild pitches like Wild Thing Ricky Vaughn, Major League fame. But hey, Mike says he's a good pitcher. I'll take him at his word, but we know the real story now when you go to the true source, Bruce Weber. In all seriousness, Mike, thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this roast. Hopefully I'm asked back. Probably not, but who knows. 16th Street, great organization. I know it's been a crazy year, but if whatever you can give, please help them out. Coming together to stay safe and be well. That's the theme of all this. And we greatly appreciate everything that you can do. Mike, take care. Hopefully I'm still your friend after this.
Mike, congratulations on finally getting roasted. You spent so many years getting the best of us. It's about time we finally got our payback. So I hope everyone roasts you good. And to 16th Street, thank you so much for being on the front lines and continuing to make our community safe. You're an organization that makes a real difference and in the end has a real impact on everyone's lives in Milwaukee. I hope we can all come together and continue to be well.
Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to this special roast of Mike Gousha for 16th Street Health Clinic. In a minute, I'm going to talk about Mike, but I want to take just a couple seconds to thank 16th Street Health Centers for everything they do in our community. In this pandemic world, I can tell you the situation would be much worse in Milwaukee if it weren't for 16th Street and what it does to serve our residents, particularly on the south side. I recognize that, the city recognizes that, and Mike Gousha recognizes that. And that's why he's here tonight. And we all know Mike from TV. We know him from his great forums that he hosts at Marquette University. But he's actually a real person. And tonight we're going to hear about some of the things that make him a real person, as a husband, as a neighbor, as someone who is a professional in our community and a special part of our community. So thank you for this virtual, fabulous experience. And thank you for supporting 16th Street Health Centers.
Thank you, 16th Street Clinic, for honoring my friend, Mike Gousha. A great organization honoring a great guy. Wonderful combination to come together to improve the health of our community.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight and for roasting Mike Gousha. It's really a pleasure. Mike Gousha has spent nearly 4 decades describing what's going on around us and doing in-depth interviews with leaders in our community and also national leaders. But what do we really know about Mike Gousha and what's behind that clean-cut Boy Scout-looking image that he has been having for the last 4 decades? Yes, Mike is a distinguished fellow in law and public policy at Marquette Law School. And yes, he has won numerous journalism awards. He's been a fixture on the political scene, covering 6 political conventions and interviewing hundreds of community leaders and also national leaders on his popular show Sunday Night. While Mike is certainly comfortable asking the questions, we want to know more about Mike. Who really is Mike Gousha? Being a good journalist myself and someone who has worked with Mike for many years at WTMJ, I needed to do some good old investigative reporting, and that means trying to dig up some dirt on Mike and get the real story. Believe me, that was really tough to do. And through my work, I think I found some really interesting facts about Mike from some very good sources. Of course, sources I will never reveal. Mike's hair is real. Yes, color and all. It is real. Even though Mike may look and act like a big Boy Scout, act is the key word here, he always treats everyone with respect. But he was never a Boy Scout. Mike also speaks another language, Spanish, well enough that a reliable source tells me he can use it even on vacation, although that source says he's a little bit limited in finding just the bathroom, maybe. Mike also plays alto tenor saxophone and was in the high school band, although, according to another highly placed source, he joined the band just to meet girls. My source says his favorite music to play on the sax is anything from Tower of Power. Not surprising, Mike's favorite people to interview are musicians. He interviewed Doc Severinsen, Carl Perkins, Billy Taylor, Grover Washington Jr., and Todd Rundgren. His favorite local musicians he's interviewed include the Band of the Violent Femmes, Daryl Sturmer, and Jerry Harrison. Mike loved doing his Sunday night program, and some of his favorite interviewees have been smart, intelligent women like Gloria Steinem, Naomi Judd, and Amy Tan. Another fact about Mike, he's been married to the fantastic journalist Lynn Sprangers. They met way back in the 70s. And in 1978 in Wausau, Wisconsin, they both worked as cub reporters. It was their first TV reporting job. My source says everyone in the newsroom knew that Mike was vastly more talented than the rest. And apparently, Lynn knew that better than anyone else. Mike and Lynn have been a team ever since. And while they will be celebrating their 35th wedding anniversary this January. While I searched high and low, I didn't find any dirt on Mike, but I haven't given up. What I have found is that Mike has something in common with the 16th Street Health Center. Both are focused on the betterment of the community as a whole, and both are also focused on getting and dispersing good information so people can make up their own minds about what's good for their families. And both can be proud that for several generations, their work has had a positive impact on people's lives for the better. And again, while I didn't find any dirt on Mike, what I have found is what I've known for the last 25 years. With Mike, what you see is what you get. You get an honest, hardworking individual that puts truth and the betterment of community before all else. Congratulations, Mike, on this wonderful and well-deserved recognition.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
Hey, Mike. I was both happy and surprised when I heard you were going to be roasted this year. I don't know how you roast Mike Gousha. Like, you're too great, you're too good looking, too many people think you're the best. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me as a roast, but I am glad you're being honored. You and Lynn do so much to make sure we all come together for community. And at United Way, we are deeply proud to be your partners and celebrate you and 16th Street Clinic tonight.
Thank you, 16th Street, for continuing to be on the front lines when we need you the most. Wow. Who drew the short stick to try and roast Mike Gousha? Good luck with that.
And what are 3 words I would use to describe Mike Gousha? How about unwrinkled, great hair, and perfect lighting? But seriously, for over 30 years, Mike has been the most prepared, the most informed, and the most credible journalist throughout our great state. And in a time when so many things have been called into question, we knew we could always turn to Mike to find out what was going on and to keep us informed. So congratulations to the 16th Street Community Health Centers for all the great work you do year-round. And congratulations, Mike. Hope you're enjoying the evening.
Good stuff, Lance and Linda. Great cameos, too. I told you there'd be a few more special cameos. We have one more person tonight to roast Mike, but we need to take a moment to thank a few of our sponsors. Business Healthcare Group, thank you for your generous sponsorship and your ongoing partnership with 16th Street. Of course, another big thank you to our gold level sponsor, Wisconsin Diagnostic Laboratories. We'd also like to thank sponsors MHS Health Wisconsin, Herb Cole Philanthropies, Mike Gousha and Lynn Sprangers, as well as these other important sponsors. And of course, thank you to all of you who have donated during the show. Donations at any level are greatly appreciated. With all we've seen tonight, you can tell how important your donations are and how much good they do. So please continue to give and give generously. To give, register at bidpal.net/SSCHC2020roast. Once you're registered, you'll be able to donate. Before we see our last roast and Mike's rebuttal, I want to share a very special story with you. Now, we've all heard the statistics about the disproportionate impact of COVID on communities of color. But behind these stats are real people, real families, and real hardships. Earlier this year, Sergio fought a near-death battle with COVID-19. Because of 16th Street, he's recovering, and he's here to share his story with us.
Yo empecé con unos pequeños síntomas. Inclusive empecé con unos síntomas, pero yo no sabía si era eso. Era más el estar oyendo las noticias y el se meten muchas cosas a la cabeza y es un miedo. ¿Será, no será, será, no será? Pero a mí me daba mucho miedo por mi familia, ¿me explico? Y después empecé a no tener el sentido del olfato, el sentido del gusto, no me sabía nada. Entonces mi hija, la de 18 años, me dijo, esos son síntomas del COVID. Como al siguiente día de que eso pasara, yo tenía esos pequeños síntomas, pero no eran tan fuertes, sino lo que pasó que ya que a mí me empezó a doler el cuerpo muy feo, poco a poco, pero son unos dolores intensos, son unos dolores muy, muy fuertes que empezaban y todo, no sé, yo sentía que se me perdían las fuerzas, ¿no? Entonces yo fui a mi sitio, hice una llamada a la clínica 16 y me dijeron, ven para ver qué es lo que está pasando contigo. Yo ya me sentía mal, me dolía más y sentía unos escalofríos que jamás en mi vida he sentido. De los años que tengo de vida, son unos escalofríos horribles. Y un dolor en el cuerpo horrible que me tumbó. Mi esposa después me platicaba que ella, en el momento de que yo ya me puse muy mal, fue 2 días después de que me llamaron de la clínica, yo me puse muy mal y ella me cuenta cosas que yo no me recuerdo. Dice mi esposa que el doctor en el carro me tomó mis signos vitales y que dijo, señora, llévate a tu esposo porque tu esposo ya va muy grave. Yo le pedía todos los días que me regresara a mi casa, a mi Padre Dios y a mis santitos que tengo ahí, ¿no? Y le decía, déjenme regresar a mi casa, ayúdenme a regresar con mi esposa. Con mis hijos. María empezó a trabajar conmigo y con mi familia, preguntándome cuántos vivimos en la casa, todo lo que es de la casa, cuánto se paga de la casa y todo eso. Y dijo, solamente personas con el COVID califican para recibir este tipo de ayudas, ¿verdad? La ayuda era, te pagan un porcentaje, te ayudan a pagar un porcentaje de la renta, que es muy bueno, ¿me entiendes? Te ayudan con el servicio de luz y gas, ¿verdad? María me llevaba comida, me llevaba pan. Oye, todo eso es grandioso, ¿me entiendes? De salir del hospital. Y aparte también de María, mucha gente que me ayudó, muchísima gente que me ayudó, y pues por ese lado yo me sentía bendecido, ¿no? Bendiciones a todos los que donan para que nosotros podamos recibir esas ayudas. Que Dios los bendiga a todos y que siga habiendo mucha gente como ellas que sigan donando, y que por favor ya se acabe esto del COVID, porque es muy fuerte esto.
Amazing story, Sergio. Thank you so much for sharing. I don't know if you all caught that or not, but Sergio has been unable to work since the hospitalization, and he was the breadwinner for the family. 16th Street's Patient Relief Fund has not only kept him and his family fed, but has provided him with financial assistance for rent and utilities. Can you imagine where he and his family would be without that help? This is just another very important reason for you to donate tonight. To give, register at bidpal.net SSCHC 2020 Roast. Once you're registered, you'll be able to donate. Once again, thank you to the Business Healthcare Group for your generous sponsorship and for making tonight possible. And a huge thanks to everyone who has donated during the show. Like I said earlier, your donations are put to use immediately and are saving lives. Thank you. From all we've seen tonight, you can tell how important your donations are and how much good they do, so please continue to give generously. Next up, we'll hear from Brown's Crew. Brown's Crew members El Sebas and Cristo Paz are leaders in the Southside Renaissance here in Milwaukee. This duo fuses Latin American sounds with hip-hop drums and cadences to deliver stories of the life of Chicanos here in the Midwest. They're here tonight to perform Háblame Bien and Baby Ya. After that, we'll hear from our last roaster of the evening, past president and CEO of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin, Maria Monreal Camron. Maria was one of Mike's very first television interviews and has been a great friend ever since. Hopefully that means she's got some dirt on him.
What's good, everybody? We are the Browns Crew. We super excited to be here with y'all tonight. Before we get started, we just want to give a quick shout out to all the workers of the world, especially the healthcare workers who are putting in that work right now. We appreciate y'all.
Oye, mi amor, no me llegues con tus chifladeras. Sabes que yo no soporto que me hables de esa manera y no te voy a dejar que me faltes el respeto. Deja de rezongar, deja de criticar todo lo que hago. Déjame descansar de todo el mal pago que tú siempre me das. Que se siente la paz, que se siente el amor, ya se me va a olvidar. Háblame, 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 háblame bien. Háblame, 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 háblame bien, bien. Háblame, 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 háblame bien. Háblame, 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 háblame bien. Yo no pido nada, solo que cambies tu cara. Deja tus berrinches en la casa de tu mamá. Aquí no es babysitting ni teatro pa' tu drama. Déjame vivir mi vida como a mí me dé mi gana. Yo no pido nada, solo que cambies tu cara. Deja tus berrinches en la casa de tu mamá. Aquí no es babysitting ni teatro pa' tu drama. Déjame vivir mi vida como a mí me dé mi gana. Háblame, 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 háblame bien. Háblame, 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 háblame bien, bien. Háblame, 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 háblame bien. Háblame, 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 háblame bien. No me levantes la voz, no me la hagas de tos. Ya me harté de siempre estar peleando los dos. I see you later, my friend. Sayonara, adiós. Santo remedio, un mexicano meditando en Japón, echando sushi y sake, soñando con Pokémon. Sin que nadie me neta se siente chingón. Charrolas echando hueva en la playa. Cuando yo regrese voy a llegar con la ronda ya. Háblame, 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 háblame bien. Háblame, 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 háblame bien, bien. Háblame, 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 háblame bien. Háblame, 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 háblame bien.
Pasado y atrás, vería. Muévelo así, luego muévelo pa' acá. Yo no tengo ganas de jugar, vería. Para de hablar, mejor muéstrame ya. Déjalo pasado y atrás, vería. Muévelo así, luego vente a mi lado por un rato. Tengo ganas de verte, no voy a hacerlo largo. Yo sé que me quieres, pero solo en lo alto. Y mira el baby boy que ahora está volando. Somos tú y yo, una noche solitos. Como tú quieres hablar, convoca solo cuerpos. Lo dejo en tus manos, but after this I gotta go. Mi vida no es juego, that's why I keep things on the low. Some of you say, but I show. Shout out Guanajuato, just a vato making moves, todo va despacio. Antes yo me preocupaba sobre nada, me dejaba derrumbado y cansado. Ahora doy un paso y disfruta todo lo que he logrado. Soy un chavo abusado de abajo, puro barrio, todavía no acabo. También acostumbrado de mostrarle a la gente que están equivocados. Ahora oye mi canto de día. Yo no tengo ganas de jugar de día. Para de hablar, mejor muéstrame ya. Déjalo pasado y atrás, vería. Muévelo así, luego muévelo pa' acá. Yo no tengo ganas de jugar de día. Para de hablar, mejor muéstrame ya. Déjalo pasado y atrás, vería. Muévelo así, luego muévelo pa' acá. Pa' acá, pa' acá, baby, muévelo pa' acá. Pa' acá, pa' acá. Acá, baby, muévelo pa' acá, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rick Walters, and I want to thank you personally for attending and participating in this, our first ever virtual event. I'm retiring after 20 years of service on the board, the last 8 of which have been as chair. And especially in those last 8 years, I've seen tremendous growth and exciting impact in the community as we've been able to broaden our horizons. and your support has been very important throughout. Despite the fact that I'm retiring from the board, I'm going to continue doing what I've done for the last 26 years, and that is to be a patient at 16th Street, where I have time and time again seen how our people provide a standard of quality of care that is second to none. Our people bring tremendous passion, kindness, and dedication and commitment to their work every day. And it's been a tremendous honor and privilege for me to be associated with them. Their work and its importance really can't be overstated. And now more than ever before, your support is important. So if you haven't already donated, I would encourage you, please consider doing so and give generously. Your dollars have tremendous impact in this organization and in the community. And in closing, I want to say simply one more time, thank you to everyone who's part of the 16th Street family for all the good that they do and all of the lives that they change. Once again, thanks for joining us and have a good evening.
How could I pass up the opportunity to participate in the roast of the classiest anchor our local media was ever blessed with? You know, it was September of 1989, and I had just started my position at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin. I remember sitting at my desk, the phone rang. I picked it up. Hi, is this Maria Monreal Cameron? Yes, it is. And you know what? I recognized the voice. Before he even said, hi, this is Mike Gousha, and I'd like to invite you to my show. Mike's long ago Sunday evening show was my first official interview. That was 1989 of my 24-year tenure with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And the start of just an enduring friendship with Mike and his awesome wife, Lynn. He knew I was starting, so I was a little bit nervous, and he quickly calmed my fears. It was a very, very welcoming, very, very calming experience that I had, but I'll never forget that he was the very first person that interviewed me. And no matter where his career path has propelled him, Mike continues to embody a belief that our voices matter, our issues matter, our experiences matter. And always, I remember when he was being awarded at a ceremony, it wasn't that long ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I remember something that he said that has stuck with me this time, and it was, lose the attitude and see the potential. Lose the attitude and see the potential. I thank God that Mike Gousha was a constant in my career. Together, we saw the evolvement, truly, the progress of our community health center, 16th Street Community Health Center. We saw the very, very first leaders of the organization and saw it evolve into this incredible second-to-none community-based organization. Through all of my peaks and valleys, every single one, on a personal note, Mike has been there and has held my hand. He has encouraged, he has championed, he has listened, and for that, I will always, always be grateful. Let's show the classiest anchor Milwaukee has ever seen. Let's show how much we appreciate Mike Gousha by giving a significant donation to the 16th Street Community Health Center.
Thank you, Maria. You are so sweet.
I mean it with all of my heart. You are a dear, dear friend.
Thank you, Maria.
Constant champion. And I thank you for that, Michael.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Mosh? Hey, what are you doing?
I'm going to go wake them up. We're going to go for a walk. We can come together for a walk.
No. You can't wake them up. It's way too early for that.
No, we'll come together. We'll stay healthy together, just like they're doing at 16th Street. You know, stay together. Come together, stay together.
Well, that's a great idea.
Hey, Mike. Congratulations, dude.
Hey, Mike, given that this is a roast, I wish I could say something silly or snarky, but I can't because, in my view, you are a standout. You are one of the few interviewers I know who actually reads the books his guests have written and asks very thoughtful questions. You're also one of the few people I know who directly addresses issues that matter to Milwaukee, issues of race and poverty and the future of the city, for which I thank you and I know others do as well. Have a wonderful roast.
Hey, Mike. Hey, congratulations. What an honor. Fellow 1978 grad getting this distinguished honor. Man, you're in a Hall of Fame here, Hall of Fame there. You're distinguished professor at Marquette. What haven't you done? But, I didn't think, frankly, Mike, anybody in the media could be distinguished. But I guess you are. They say you are. But media guy distinguished? Seriously? Really? Well, but Mike, what kind of an honor is this? You're getting it from Homer. I mean, here's a guy also, professors have gone to Wisconsin for a year. I think that's right. But he flunked out. And now he's doing this with you. When he got involved with 16th Street, I think that's his IQ, 16. That's what he tells me. Actually, I think that might even be high. So what kind of a honor is it to get that from Homer? But you pulled it off, and congratulations. But seriously, you're taking it from Homer True? I mean, this guy can't even get a day job. But congrats, Mike. Congrats on this thing. But I sure wouldn't want to spend the night as you are with the Homer. All right. Take care. Congrats, big guy.
Thanks, Maria. You were very kind to Mike. I know of Mike Gousha, and he can't be as good as everybody says. He can't be. I mean, he might be. Seriously, I want to thank everyone for being a part of the show tonight. It's an honor to be a part of this. I and all of you know how special this place is. Every year I look forward to the stories like we heard about Sergio. That is what 16th Street Center is all about. It's not about a place, it's about people. It's about the people that run it. It's about people that benefit and the stories that you know, including Sergio. Auction items will be open until noon on Friday, December the 11th. Again, auction items will be open until noon on Friday, December the 11th. So don't think it ends right now. Bid, 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 bid. So we've had some fun at Mike's expense tonight. Let's give him a chance to respond. And I can see, is he really as nice as it seems that he is? Has he got a little something there to jab back, or is he too nice to even do that? We'll find out.
So this is the part of the program where I'm supposed to be funny, to throw a few jabs back at my roasters. But I just want to begin by saying, if you think I'm going to throw any shade at Maria Monreal Cameron after what she just said, not going to happen. But I will say that I would come back and do this every year and be roasted every year if Maria would be one of my roasters. That I would very much appreciate. I was trying to think about what to say about Mark Baden. You know, he's a great guy. Trying to look for something funny. He's a meteorologist. So there's really not anything to work with there. The forecast, the predictions, there's nothing. You just got to move on to something else. So I was struck by the fact that he was so fixated on my hair, that he had to talk about my hair. And I think the real investigative report should be on the deal Baden has made with the devil. I mean, we all want to know the magic elixir that Mark Baden has been ingesting that reverses the aging process. I mean, the guy looks better today, 20 years ago. He looks better today than he did 20 years ago, which is kind of hard to believe. Lance Allen, sportscaster, today's TMJ4. So Lance had this story that he was telling, and I use that term loosely, the story that he was relating about one of the former teammates on my John Marshall High School baseball team, Bruce Weber. Bruce is now the head basketball coach at Kansas State. And he said he was talking to Bruce about the fact that I was a pitcher and Bruce was a catcher. And Bruce told him, according to Lance, that I could not break a window pane with my fastball. So before you believe that, just think about this. Lance may not be the most credible guy around. I mean, after all, this is a guy who believes that professional wrestling is real. Seriously, ask him. I wanted to talk a little bit about Dr. Joan Prince. What do you say about Dr. Prince? I thought maybe I could do some Marquette UWM rivalry shtick. That doesn't really work. And Dr. Jones' resume is not just impressive, it's a little frightening to people like me. I mean, she's been an academic leader. She's been a diplomat to the United Nations, a diplomat to the United Nations. She is the vice chancellor at UWM, got her doctorate, Dr. Joan. But I do think I have one thing over Dr. Joan Prince. I have a better academic title than Dr. Joan. She may be a vice chancellor, but I am a distinguished fellow in law and public policy. And as my friend said, that is really fancy stuff for a guy who wore makeup and read out loud for much of his adult life. And finally, Linda Marcus. What do I say about Linda? Great journalist, terrific artist, incredible imagination. Think about the St. Kate downtown. Linda's all part of the re-envisioning of that hotel. And some of you may know, and some of you may not know, that Linda was on the TV show Project Runway just a few years ago. She did not end up winning, and I think that's because the show revealed her fatal weakness. She is a nice person. She's a very nice person, way too nice a person for reality TV. So probably by now you're thinking a couple of things. Number one is that I'm not going to be doing stand-up anytime in the near future. That is true. And secondly, maybe you're thinking this roast is a little tame. The jabs aren't quite as pointed this year, that it's a kinder, gentler roast. And I can understand that. But I can also understand why, because I think it's been a hard year. It's been a hard year for a lot of people. Do you know someone whose life has been touched by COVID? Somebody who's died from COVID, or somebody who's still struggling with COVID? Somebody who hasn't seen their grandkids or their grandparents in months? Do you know somebody who's lost a job from COVID or had to quit a job because they had to be at home to help their kids learn virtually? Somebody who had a big dream, the American dream. They started a business. Everything was going great. Everything was going to be terrific this summer. And then the pandemic hit, and now that dream is in doubt. Have you lost some friendships because of our political times? The fact that we have a hard time talking to each other civilly anymore. Did you lose some hours of sleep at night wondering about our democracy, which direction we're headed, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat? It has been a hard year. And that's why I think it's more important than ever for us to think about what we want to be when we come out on the other side, when we get past the pandemic, and when we put aside our partisan differences. What do we want to be? What is absolutely crucial, vital to Milwaukee's future? I would argue one of those institutions is 16th Street. In my opinion, they do game-changing work. They are difference makers in our community. They have served a lot of different folks at their centers over the years. Some of them are people of means. Some of them are our city's most vulnerable. And nothing could be more important right now than making sure we provide health care to those who are most vulnerable, the people who go to work every day, the essential workers who make all of our lives just a little bit easier and a little bit more normal. So I would ask all of you tonight to come together to be well, to make a difference in our community. And you could do that by making a donation to 16th Street. If you can give a lot, please give a lot. And if you can give only a little, that's great too. Every donation is welcome. The work that 16th Street is doing right now, at this moment, in this somewhat dark moment for us as a nation, has never been more important. So do what you can, and that would be greatly appreciated by all of us. So with that, I'll just say thanks. It was fun being with all of you tonight. Great time. Look forward to seeing you out there, and maybe we'll see everybody together, maybe next year in person when better times come our way. Let's hope for that. Thanks again, and I'll see you around town.
Well, that was really cool to see. Thanks, Mike, for really driving home the importance of tonight's program. It was really great to see everyone come together tonight. You guys were awesome. The donations have been coming in tonight and are going to really make a meaningful impact for 16th Street and our community. I hope you've enjoyed listening to our musical guests. Thank you all for lending your time and talent to tonight's show. And a big shout out to all of you who took the time to record a cameo. Your presence in the show really means a lot. Thank you. And what can I say about our roasters? I know Mike Gousha is not an easy person to roast, but you all did a great job. A very special thanks to Mike Gousha for letting us poke a little fun at him tonight, all in the name of supporting a great organization. And the biggest thank you of the evening goes to the healthcare heroes at 16th Street and the community they feel so privileged to care for. You are an inspiration to us all. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jordan Lee. Good night, everyone.
Se ha formado la corredera. Allá vienen los bomberos con sus campanas y sus sirenas. Allá vienen los bomberos con sus mangueras y sus sirenas. Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? ¡Qué tragedia, señores! En el barrio de la Cachimba se ha formado la corredera. En el barrio de la Cachimba se ha formado la corredera. Allá vienen los bomberos con sus mangueras y sus sirenas. Allá vienen los bomberos con sus mangueras y sus sirenas. Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? El cuarto de Tula le cogió candela, se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela. Hay fuego en el 23, en el 23, uno dice que fue a la 1, caballero, yo digo que fue a la 3, el cuarto de Tula le cogió candela, se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela. La gente gritando desde la azotea, fuego, 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 todo se te quema. El cuarto de Tula le cogió candela. no apago la vela. No apago la vela. No apago la vela. No apago la vela. Apago la vela. El cuarto de Tula le cogió candela. Se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela. El cuarto de Tula le cogió candela. Se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela. Mamá, yo quiero saber de dónde son los cantantes que le encuentro tan galantes y les quiero conocer. Y su trova es fascinante, yo me la quiero aprender. Mamá, yo quiero saber de dónde son los cantantes que le encuentro tan galantes y les quiero conocer. Y su trova fascinante, yo me la quiero aprender. ¿De dónde serán? Ay, mamá, serán de Santiago, serán de La Habana, tierra soberana, son de la loma y cantan el llano. Ya verán, y dice. Son de la loma y cantan el llano. Son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan el llano. Mamá, yo quiero saber de dónde son los cantantes que le encuentro tan galantes y le quiero conocer. Son de la loma y cantan el llano. Son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan el llano. Venga a ver, señores, Pinal del Río, oye de Matanza, que yo me voy para Santiago, caballero, en la sierra se forma la danza. Son de la loma y cantan el llano. Son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan el llano. Que salió de Cuba, caballero, y a las Antillas llegamos. Un saludo desde Boricua para el pueblo cubano. Son de la loma y cantan el llano. Son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan el llano. Vení, vení, venga, Matamoros, la herencia de los trillos de Puerto Rico, la conga y la salsa, y a Santo Domingo le digo. Son de la loma y cantan el llano. Son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan el llano. De la
la loma son, de la loma son, de la loma son, de la loma son,
Ojo, caballero, viene bajando de la sierra con muchos buenos deseos para ti, Latinoamérica querida.